Hello, the name is Alex, and welcome to my series where I attempt to explain every Pokemon meta deck to the best of my abilities. And on today's agenda, we've got Ogerpon Arboliva, also known as Ogerpon Meganium, but quite frankly, I believe Arboliva is more suited for the name. So I've spent the last couple weeks testing the deck. I've even built my own version of the deck because originally I was using Campinia's Regional that came 43rd place by Victor Carrera Rodriguez, which I gotta say is probably a good deck. I couldn't personally figure it out, and so I just went and made it myself. Also, pro tip to just anyone out there who's struggling to find a deck that works for them. If you want to choose a meta deck, don't just copy one off someone else, because then you're trying to reverse engineer how you're supposed to play it. Try and build the deck yourself using just the basic cards that are outlined. If you go to Limitless and you press into any deck, main meta deck, it'll show you all the cards and the frequency they usually appear in every deck. I find this to be a very good tool to make your own decks, and making your own deck can often make it easier to figure out how the deck is supposed to work, what cards are in there, and when to use what. I don't know, I don't know if that's just a me thing, but I always find copying a deck from a regionals or something to be very difficult. Another little note just to add, Chaos Rising released during the middle of making this video, so I was just gonna say all I did to change the deck list was add a single red card. That's basically the only card I think really works for this. You could add a Beedrill, but I'm gonna be talking about a Beedrill deck next week because I'm really excited for that card. And now, without further ado, let's get into it. Now let's go through what I would consider to be the main cards of this set. So let's start off with the first name you'll see when you read this deck, Ogerpon. So for this deck, you use Teal Mask Ogerpon, the green one. This is mainly your energy accelerator and probably your main attacker. So it has the really great ability, frankly, of once during your turn, you may attach a basic grass energy from your hand to this Pokemon. If you attach energy to this Pokemon this way, draw a card. So basically, you can attach twice per turn with this Ogerpon, right? You attach once per turn with whatever basic grass energy you have in your hand, you see what you draw. I swear half the time I draw just another grass energy, and you can either attach it to this Ogerpon or attach it to another Pokemon to retreat. You can have some really smart and fun plays with this. I think it's a really good card, and its attack is also pretty damn good. It does 30 damage for each energy attached to both active Pokemon, and that might not seem the strongest until you remember the second name usually associated with this deck list, and that name is Meganium. So Meganium is it's a stage 2, so it's decently hard to get up, but each basic energy attached to all your Pokemon provides 2 basic grass energies. This is a great ability. It doesn't stack, but just having one Meganium on your bench at any time can double your Ogerpon's attack. It also just makes it so you can easily energize any grass Pokemon you want. So generally, if you're running a grass deck, you run Meganium, because then you don't have to worry anymore about the energies, even though you'll usually run a lot of energy, because that's kind of just grass's whole gimmick. You run a lot of energy because it's grass. Grass, there's a lot of plants. Now let's talk about the secondary attacker, or actually a lot of times primary attacker if you do it right. Arboliva EX. Arboliva EX. This one has a bit of a text wall here. It's choose one of your opponent's Pokemon 6 times, and it says that weirdly. Basically what it means is you can choose 6, you have 6 choices, and you can choose different Pokemon for each one, and each time you choose a Pokemon, you put 20 damage counters on that Pokemon. Actually, no, you do 20 damage. So I got this wrong in the last video where I thought this was blocked by Mist and Fighting and Rocky Fighting Energy, but apparently it's not, because it does damage and not damage counters. That's an important distinction to make. It also has a second attack for 3 energies where it just does 160 and recovers from all special conditions. I doubt that's going to come into play very often. Maybe if Mega Dragalge becomes any somewhat of a threat, but I really doubt that's going to start happening. Now let's just go quickly to the support Pokemon, because there's actually quite a few Pokemon in this deck. In my deck list, I run 20 different Pokemon, I think. So let's go with the first support, Noctowl. This one, remember to use it only if you have an Ogerpon in play. I've done that mistake a couple times. I'll see if I can find it in my B-roll of me doing that. But it has the ability to Jewel Seeker, so if you have a Terra Pokemon in play, you can look in your deck for any 2 trainer cards. So it could be a supporter, item, tool, or a stadium. Any of those are good, and you can just search for 2 of those as soon as you play it down from your to evolve it, and you have a Terra Pokemon to play. It might seem like it's a bit restrictive, but simply put, it's a very good card. This is why it's been used in Terra Blocks for so long. It's even used in Dragapult sometimes nowadays, I think. Our next support is just Pheasantipity. Once during your turn, if your opponent knocks out a Pokemon during your last turn, well, during their last turn, I will say, you draw 3 cards. It's very good. It's been a mainstay in decks forever. I distinctly remember when this card used to be $20-25. Now it's, I think, down to $10 at most. But yeah, great card. would recommend finding a couple and just shoving them into decks. The only deck I really wouldn't want to put this in is Garchomp, but like I've already talked about that. And last on this list, I'm going to talk about just quickly Meowth X. This card's going to come up a lot during this series simply because it's probably the best card from Chaos Rising. Let's all be honest with ourselves here. Where once during a turn, when you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench, you may use this ability, search your deck for a supporter card, reveal it, and put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck. You can only use one of these per turn, but realistically you only need one Meowth in any real deck you're running. So like that card, right, can win you games. Like you place it down, it gives you whatever card you want. But just know the second you put this card into your deck, you will always have it in your opening hand. I don't know why, it's statistically impossible, but like Meowth will always just appear in your hand, and it's impossible. But if everything goes well, you can use Meowth for well-timed lilies, bosses, any other supporter you can think of. Like it's really good card, best card in Chaos Rising. I actually managed to get my hands on one today. It was pretty difficult, but I finally found one. Now that like we've talked about the Pokemon of the deck, let's just talk quickly about a couple of the very important cards. I'd say your most important cards are Bug Catching Set, where you look at the top 7 cards of your deck, reveal any 2 combination of grass or basic grass energy, or grass Pokemon or basic grass energy. This is a really good card. You can usually like get some pretty clutch victories with getting the cards you want with this, but do note it is down to randomness. And the other very important card is Force of Vitality. It's basically, as long as it's not your first turn, you can evolve Grass-type Pokemon the same turn you place them down. It's very good, in very specific decks, but like, this is a deck that has 2 stage 2s in it. It's a very good card. You can usually set up your entire bench within like a single turn if you're lucky. Well, not if you're lucky, if you do it right. So, like, let me just quickly explain my actual deck list for a quick sec. So, I run the Cornerstone Ogerpon. Alex, what the hell are you talking about? No, I run the Teal Mask Ogerpon. I run 4 of them. Those are my main energy accelerants. I really like this card. I run a 2/2 line of Smoliv Dolliv Arboliva. I will not pronounce that word correctly. I don't care. I also run a 2/2 line of Chikorita Bayleaf Meganium, a 1/1 Hoot Hoot Noctowl, a 1 Pheasantipede, and 1 Meowth. These are all pretty situational cards, so you only really need 1 of them each. I run 4 Button Catching Sets. A single Special Ed card is all you really need. 3 Force Vitality. I run Coralys's Tenacity because I could not stand not being able to find my stadiums when I wanted it, especially in a deck this reliant on its stadium to get set up correctly. A single Lana's Aid can be clutch when it comes to getting Meganium out of the discard, and also 11 basic energies because this is the grass deck. Grass decks like their energy. Now let's talk the strategy of this deck. Generally what I want is, start of the game, you want to get Arboliva out. You want it in the front, you want it with a single energy because they just let that thing have a single energy, and you want to start picking off your opponent's like weak Pokemon. Like you can generally go for like their Dreepies, like if you're against one of these decks, their Chikoritas, or like what other decks are there in the meta currently? Or like your Festival Leads, you can just start taking out like the apples. What are they called? The small apples. God, this is not very helpful. Just trying to... I forget how this site works half the time. Okay, now for the deck list. They're Applins. Yeah, because they have 40 HP. You can take out 2-3 of those with a single Arboliva. But yeah, that's what I'd say you want in the front. In the back, you want at least 1 Meganium. If you can work it, maybe even 2. But it's not required because the ability, as I've said before, does not stack. But it does allow you some like extra grace if they take out one of your Meganiums. Then I'd try to have like 2-3 Ogerpons and just start like slinging energy towards them. Having a fully energized Ogerpon can save you like at the very end. I've had some like Lucario matches, for example, where it's like they take out like a couple Ogerpons and I just go take out Lucario and suddenly I'm in the lead again because it's a Mega. Yeah. Then like maybe to the side have like your Hoot Hoot and Noctowl, like have a Hoot Hoot. Like generally try to have a space open because you have your Hoot Hoots, you have your Pheasantipides, and you have your Meowths. All those can be very useful and they all have their own place. So if like you get a free bench space, just you can decide which one you need then and there. I personally say like, well, can't personally say anything. This is entirely objective, but it's situational. But yeah, you generally want to have like at least Meganium, 2 Ogerpons, 1 Arboliva, it can just, if you get it set up right, you're usually killing within like your second turn. Now let's just quickly go through all the possible, the main opponents you're going to be fighting. As I did in the last video, I'm going to be going through the top 10 current meta decks. I will preface that I probably won't talk much on Megalopony since I don't know that deck very well, but the rest of the decks I have a decent amount of experience fighting. So let's get started with the king of the meta, still 40% of the meta, Dragapult. Dragapult, this is a harder matchup than it was with Garchomp, but it's still, if you keep a calm head about you, you should still have a chance. So basically what you want here, you want the Arbivolia. Why do you want the Arbivolia? Because you can Venge Snipe. Like, you use Dragapult's own, weapon against it. Just get your Arbivolia up and just sitting there, and if they have a Dracloak on the bench, take it out. Like, it is a 2-shot from a Dragapult for your Arbivolia, and it's gonna be a bit difficult. They're probably gonna go for your Meganiums because the Ogerpons are quite a scary sight. But yeah, take out their Dracloaks, their monkeys. If you can, Badooz as well. Badooz is 2 hits from an Arbivolia, and yeah, if you can unfair. I just realized my deck list, I'm not running an ace back. But probably run Unfair Stamp, or if you're running Special Red Card, what else would you run in this? You could probably run a Secret Box, would probably be your best bet in this, but yeah. And yeah, just go for their Dreepies and Dracloaks, their Monkeys and Badooz as well. Anything that you can easily get your grubbly little olives on, kill them. But if they manage to kill the Arbivolia, try and get the Ogerpons up. It's a very difficult matchup. If you can mess around with some boss's orders to kill the Dragapults, probably be your best bet. Be very careful about what EXs you put down, because the damn lizard can one-shot a Meowth. Yeah, try and keep their hand low and their Pokemon lower. We got Raging Bolt. This one would probably be pretty difficult. Yeah, definitely go with the Ogerpon here, because yeah, just sling some energies onto the Ogerpon. Raging Bolt generally has a lot of energies flying around, so if you can do some boss's shenanigans, you could definitely take this out. Try and bump their area 0 so they can have less energy on the field, and yeah, that's what I would do about Raging Bolt. We got Team Rocket's Mewtwo, right? So this one's still decently simple because they play Tarantula and Spidops. Annoyingly, Spidops is one damage above what you can actually deal with Arbivolia. So if you could bench snipe with Tarantulas, do be careful though, because Force of Vitality does help them like it helps you. Pretty sure the Articuno doesn't block it, because Articuno only prevents effects of attacks. This is damage, so it's not an effect, so you could go and snipe the Articuno. Other than that, if they have a Mewtwo Squeaks of Darkness, not Grass, but take the Ogerpon and try and kill the Mewtwo pretty quick. Team Rocket has a lot of different ways they can boss up with a special Giovanni's, which is just a prime catcher but in a supporter form that you can have 4 of, and I'd say just every deck, red card them and try and just get rid of their main attacker, which is Spidops, which is their main attacker and their main energy accelerant, which is a pretty mean combo. What I would do, I would generally just go for the Spidopses, go for the Articunos, Mimikyus, all the little basics to go and attack them. Can their Mewtwo one-shot you? No, it can't. So you could probably also take out a Mewtwo if you worked it right. Do be careful though, your Ogerpons are very low health. So you want those as big hitters so that you can't take them out just in the next turn. Next we got Festival Leads. This is a tough deck. It's the reason it's top 4 and it's a single prizer. Though with Arbivolia being a thing, Diplins you can take out and then take out an Applin as well. The Relu and Rabsca though, the Rabsca might actually, if they get a Rabsca up, you might be a bit screwed. Try and boss that out and kill it as fast as possible. Thwackes you could take out, and yeah, bosses up things with Ogerpon. See if you can take more than 1 prize card per turn, just nullifying their ability. And yeah, just try and stay safe, keep the Arbivolia up front if you can, and take things out, because the Ogerpon is very easy to take out, especially with the amount of damage which a Dipling can do. I think can do 200 damage, so maybe not one-shot you right away, but if they play it right, they could definitely easily take it KO. I'm Megalopony. Okay, so this isn't going to be the best review because I don't know much about this deck, but I'd say if they're unlucky, they're going to have a Baneri up front, so that would be your best bet, taking out Baneris and Dunsparces. Megalopony, how much damage does this thing do again? It can do enough to kill an Ogerpon, but not enough to kill your Olive Lady. And it's not, you don't do enough damage to, you do enough damage to 3-shot her, which is a bit of a pain. But yeah, you're probably going to want to get your Ogerpons energied up so you can take them out for like some good 3-prize turns. And yeah, bosses orders around them using your mouth and Noctiles. That's what I would probably end up doing. This looks like a pretty difficult matchup, and like I've seen people complaining about this deck on Reddit and stuff, and like, yeah, I can definitely see why I'm terrified to fight that. Alakazam next. Well, this is like another one where you have the advantage of Bench Snipe. That's one thing I love about this deck. Like, this has wormed its way into my brain. I went out today and bought an Arbivolia for like a Beedrill deck, but I still went and bought an Arbivolia. So like, I was never the grass type person, but that single attack has made me fall in love with it. So yeah. Abras are really easy to take out, same as Shamas and Dunsparces. And even then, with like Alakazams, you can generally take it out with an Ogerpon. You don't have the annoying weaknesses like you do with like Garchomp, for example. And yeah, you can pretty easily take it out. If you really have to, this is something I should have remembered for like Festivals as well. Meganium is a decent like tertiary attacker. 140 damage is enough to kill an Alakazam, and you only need 2 energies on it. So I'll take everything back I said about the Apple deck. Just use Meganium. That's probably your best bet. Like, as well as using your Bench Snipe, but Meganium is going to be a good bet for any of these single prizers. Ooh, Crustle. This was what I was thinking earlier. Meganium. You use Meganium to take out the Crustles. It's like a 2-hit thing. And for your Ogerpons, just use the Arbivolias. Because yeah, the Ogerpon has a weakness to grass, so you use, you use the second attack, Aroma Shot, for 1 shot. You don't have an ability, so the Ogerpon can't kill you, but you can kill it pretty easily. And then yeah, use the Meganiums against the Crustles and any other like cards they generally run. Any of like the other cards that generally run, use that just to kill them. Should be fairly simple, if I remember correctly. Yeah, they also, some of them seem to run Kangaskhan's and stuff. Just an easy 3-prize turn for you. Cynthia's Garchomp. So, funny story about this. I love my Garchomp deck, by the way. But at the locals I go to, there's this one guy who always plays Ogerpon Arbivolia. I always play Garchomp. So far, we've gone 1-1-1 against each other. So eventually, we will one of us will be crowned winner. But as for now, this one is a hard matchup for the Garchomp. You should be breathing easy. Go for the Gibbles. The Gibbles will taking out the Gibbles will cripple this whole operation. And even then, an Ogerpon with like Meganium could pretty easily take out a Garchomp for an easy 2 prizes. Though be careful, that Spiritomb can come out and wreck your shit. Yeah, so just take out the Garchomps. Be careful about your Fezzes and Meowths. Those are weak to Garchomp, and they will, I will attest as a Garchomp player, will generally go towards trying to take them out because that's an easy 2 prizes. Ogerpon Meganium versus Ogerpon Meganium. I'd say probably go again, like just check out the Ogerpons and like the Arbolevas. Meganiums, if you get the chance, take them out as fast as possible. It's a weird matchup. You could definitely do it though. This one definitely comes down to a skill diff, so it's kind of a get good matchup, but you kind of definitely want to go for the Chikorritas and their Smallows. If you cripple their Meganiums, it's gonna be a lot harder for them to kill you, and if you cripple their Arbolevas, they're gonna have a lot harder time killing you as well because they can't like bench snipe like your Hoots, for example, so you can like get trainers. And the last deck on the list today is Zoroark, which actually has a weakness to you as well. So this is the same one as I was talking about with Garchomp. Take out the Zoroarks in 1 hit if you can. You don't want to get a Reshiram biting you in the ass. But yeah, just try to take out the Zoroarks. If you can't, see if you can like bosses up like their Zekroms and Reshirams and take out their attacking, because that's a generally pretty good way to cripple them, though they could pretty easily get stuff back, so do be very careful, I'd say. Yeah, and that's the top 10 decks as it is currently. And I gotta say, this is a deck I've really been enjoying playing. I might build it like IRL, but I think most of my grass IRL is going to go to the bees, which is going to be next week's video, by the way. Well, not next week's. Whenever the next video comes out, it's going to be about the bees, my new like obsession of a deck. It's great, it's memey, it's funny. I just need to get Beedrills because they're really hard to get. Like, I pulled one from a pre-release and I can't get any more. No one else has them. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like the video if you liked it. And yeah, I'll see you next time I decide to upload.